Do 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 do. Top Hush from the House of Lords once again. Not to be shown to anyone. Remember New Haven 74? Not my pipes and the Corsair. That reminds me of someone. I can't possibly think who. Anyway, time to get this tape out of the box and put it into the video recorder. Do you know, there's always a bit of a disturbing feeling when someone has access to your car that you don't know. First of all, it was a 45 V6. Now, it's the Sanyong. And that tape, I think that was recorded on someone's Skybox on a very cheap video recorder in about 2003. Someone's clearly looking forward to an episode of Professionals on Granada Plus. Anyway, I think there's probably something more on that tape that we don't yet know about. I'm going to go a little bit further on and we'll find out.
You can't have a small car that's good on the open road.
With a Nissan.
And now all new Micras come with a year's free insurance. You can with a Nissan.
There's a bit of a problem with this 1994 Nissan Micra advert. It's made within about the first year of production of the car. It has a finance offer on the screen. You can see there that expires in May 1994. And having driven the K11 Micra on the motorway, it was a 1 litre one, they're not the best. They tend to be a bit loud, and they tend to be a little bit out of the depth on hills, because I think you've only got about 50 horsepower in a 1 litre one. 1.3, a bit more power. The one I think that the young lady is driving is a Super S, which was the kind of one of the two top of the range K11s in 1994. The one was the 1.3 SLX. I've also driven a 1.3 CVT K11 Micra, and again, I don't think they really are particularly the best cars for long distance driving. I know a viewer of mine who owns an early K11 Micra shape would probably disagree with me, but yeah, I think to say that it's good on the open road is possibly stretching it a little bit. I mean, obviously in comparison with older cars like a 1 litre Austin Metro or something like that, it's going to be better, but yeah. The You Can With a Nissan advert campaign, of course, was very, very popular at the time. There are many others which build upon that central idea. I can't find too many of them at the moment, but that is the one that I found, and I hope you enjoyed it.
When you're Britain's favourite car, it's inevitable that you'll attract a few challenges, a fact that's not escaped the Ford Escort. So to make sure it stays ahead of the game in 1986, it's introducing a few changes. The dashboard and interior have been completely transformed. There's a new sound system. The doors have Chubb high security locks. The new wheels have optional anti-lock brakes, specially developed for front-wheel drive cars. There are new lights, new bumpers. And under the bonnet, there's another first. A new 1.4-litre lean-burn engine, which gives a class-beating combination of performance and economy. Well, that seems to have done the trick. So there it is, your new Ford Escort. Well, you don't stay ahead by standing still.
This is an advert which one of my viewers drew my attention to. I had seen it before, and having driven a Mark III Escort 1.3L on the channel last year for Tweed Jacket reviews, I am quite familiar with them. Not so much a Mark IV. I don't know much about them other than, you know, having seen them a lot around when I was younger. And obviously the person to talk about is Mr. Richardson, who he had lots of Mark III and Mark IV Escorts back in the day, as they were ideal for photography and stealth, as he will tell you himself. But the idea that your car just explodes on the driveway and suddenly new components turn up and the steering wheel sort of winds its way out of the column and smacks you in the head, I don't know, I just find it mildly disturbing. And then there's a little Renault 11 which is disguised in a garage that's next door and all that sort of thing. And I've never seen an advert before which actually shows you so explicitly the parts that are changeable on the older car that can then be replaced with facelift bits. The 86 Escort was known as Airco 86 and the project code and known as a Mark IV, but really it was just a very heavily realised Mark III, which you can see from the advert. Anyway, let's move on to the next one.
Coffee, not yet. Well, what are you to get nicked for? What now? Paint job's on. Oh, blimey. What the heck's this?
Listen, Almira, love a little mover.
Yeah, Marking!
Stop shouting.
I can't!
Handles like a dream gun.
Well, wake up and shut up. That's an order. Hello, Squealer.
Welcome.
I said Applewhite. This is Parisian Moonlight White.
I think you better go back to the yard shop and get some more fuel action, Almira.
Shut up.
One of the most popular adverts from Peculiar Old Car Adverts number 2 was the 96-97 Nissan Almera GTI advert that was a professional spoof. There was I don't know, one of you didn't particularly like it, but I had so many requests to do this sister advert, the Sweeney one, which again, fully licensed, had the music and everything. They probably even filmed them maybe some of the same locations. It certainly looked like the same sort of place from the Sweeney Series 4 title sequence. Not that that's particularly good, but there's sort of bit of waste ground and driving around it looked a bit like that. The costumes of this are particularly good. I mean, I don't think you get closer than this to a parody of Dennis Waterman and John Thor. The actor playing Dennis Waterman, I'm not sure of his name, but certainly he looks just like George Carter did in the Sweeney. And, you know, Phil Cornwell does a very good impression of John Thor. So, yeah, it's again, I quite like this one. Professionals I obviously prefer because I'm more of a fan of Professionals than I am the Sweeney. But I do like both of the series very much, and clearly you do too.
카나다 수출용 스텔라 CXL 강력한 우레탄 범퍼, 고급 모켓 시트, 5단 변속기 새롭게 돋보이는 중후한 스타일로 국내에 첫 선을 보입니다. 미국 안전도 기준에 합격한 스텔라 CXL 수출차와 품질이 동일합니다. 현대 자동차.
I love these Fifth Republic era Korean adverts from the time when, you know, Korea was almost a dictatorship. It wasn't from 87 onwards, but anything before that, it's from an era from about 73 to 87, the Fourth and Fifth Republic. We haven't got a democratic society so much in that era. That's an oversimplification, but the adverts certainly are not subtle at all. They're not subtle, really aren't subtle. Underneath this Hyundai Stella, this is a later one. They came out, I think, around 87, 2, something like that. Someone I'm sure will correct me in the comments if I'm wrong about that. This is from 1985. It's the CXL version, as you saw quite prominently. And again, it's very much like the Sanyong Corando and the Daewoo Maipsina adverts you've already seen. It's the same type of voiceover. And it makes you, at the end of the advert, particularly with those wonderful seats, want to buy one. And I want a Hyundai Stella CXL on the channel and on my driveway.
Begin surveillance. Closer. Number 21 shows ambitious tendencies. Follow him. 21 looks different. What's going on? Why can't they catch him? Escaped!
Escape to the totally new Renault 21.
We have a theme on this channel of having some excellent 1980s Renault adverts, and this is another one of them. Fully licensed, like the Sweeney video with the Almira GTI was, with the music from The Prisoner. The Prisoner is quite possibly a candidate for the best ever television series ever made. Obviously, The Avengers is the best as far as this channel is concerned, but if you were not thinking about this channel in particular, you might be able to argue that Prisoner was the best television series ever made. And they went to Portmeirion, which is where Patrick McGoohan filmed the original Prisoner. He wrote some of the episodes, he directed some of the episodes, he was the mastermind behind it, along with a gentleman named George Markstein. And it's a pretty good recreation of The Prisoner. Peter Swanick, who played the supervisor in that control room that you saw, looked just like that actor who was in the control room. Even the chap who played number 21 or number 6, it would have been in the original series, looks a bit like Patrick McGoohan. Had the Rover Ball following the Renault 21. The only problem with this advert is they say it's totally new, which is a complete lie, because this is just a facelifted car. Obviously, the hatchback version of the 21 was new, but to call it a totally new car is a bit disingenuous. One thing I would say about 21, which is rather exciting, is that it's one of the only cars I know that has different engine positions. Some are transversely mounted and some are horizontally mounted. Longitudinally mounted, I should say. Horizontally is not the right word. But that car has different engine configuration depending on the model. So they didn't talk about that, unfortunately. They talked about other things. But certainly a car I'd like to get on the channel, if there are actually any left up there. There aren't many. But there we go. That was Peculiar Adverts for Old Cars, episode 3. I'll put a link to the other 2 parts in the description below. A lot of you seem to like this stuff. So please don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more. Don't forget to leave a like below and a comment if you'd like to do that. Obviously, if you wish to subscribe, don't forget to turn notifications on to be informed of new videos. Social media links are down below. And thank you ever so much indeed once again for watching.